We take off in my truck. I stop for breakfast and we're back out on the run. And it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take you anywhere. Know you think I'm crazy, might even be insane, just because you caught me dancing in the rain. We were dancing in the rain, laughing at the night. The two of us together must have really been a sight. Dancing in the rain, like we didn't have a care. Just felt so right having you there. Girl, you look so pretty in your fancy evening gown, all dressed up and ready for a night out on the town. We made it to the front porch, shut the door and turned around. That's when it started. The rain came pouring down and we were dancing in the rain, laughing at the night. The two of us together must have really been a sight. Dancing in the rain, like we didn't have a care. Just felt so right having you.
Flight 527 ready for departure.
Hey, Mark Sebby here with the Way Beyond the Music podcast, and I'm super excited to bring this series to you guys as we dive way beyond the music with exclusive artist interviews, industry professional interviews, tips, tricks, educational, teaching. We're going to pick a topic for each one of these episodes that'll air Wednesday evenings at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, and we're going to dive into it, dissect it. We're going to get artist input, industry professional input. Man, if you are a Texas music lover, this show is for you. So make sure you tune in, share it, tell your friends, and subscribe. Help us spread the word, and stay tuned on Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time for Way Beyond the Music podcast. You guys are going to absolutely love this.
On behalf of the flight crew, thank you for flying with us and have a pleasant stay.
Well, howdy, y'all, and welcome back to another season of Way Beyond the Music podcast. Yeah, man, we have got some really cool stuff planned tonight. In fact, bringing back, this is like deja vu, man.
Know you think
Bringing
I'm crazy,
back the man,
might even be
the myth,
insane,
the legend.
just because you caught me dancing in the rain.
Welcome you back for Season 2, Episode 1, Deja Vu. Chuck Wimer in the house. What's up, buddy? Your mic's still muted. Your mic?
Anyway, there we go. Now is it better?
Yeah, man. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me back.
Yeah, it's good to see you, man. What have you been up to?
Shoot, man, running all over the place, doing dad things, doing music things, doing day job things. It's a never-ending cycle.
Man, yeah, the hats off to you, brother. I think you do a fine job there. I get a little Uncle Mark inside information from time to time. So that's always nice to get. But, man, welcome back to the podcast. And tonight, threw a little curveball. Didn't even tell you what the hell we were going to talk about.
Yeah, I was thinking about that earlier today.
Good. That's what I want. I want to do this, man. I want to make this fun for everybody. And I like to throw, you know me, I like to throw curveballs. So I think that the road goes on forever. What do you think about that? What does that make you think of, Chucky?
My second album.
Hey, man.
We titled that one "The Road Never Ends." So,
Well, there we go. Yeah.
The idea that we had behind that one, though, was probably the same thing that you had in mind for this podcast, and that's talking about how getting started is one thing, but then it just doesn't stop. Like if you stop, then you get forgotten, and you got to start all over again, which we've seen. You mentored me in that in the beginning, which was we saw one dude who I can't remember his name, and we wouldn't put it on right now, but he was doing it, then he stopped, and then he had to basically start all over again because the radio stations kind of felt like, well, is he going to be here or is he not going to be here? So you lose all of the forward momentum, and you got to keep on going. So it feels like it goes on forever.
It really does. The party, it's true. The party never ends. I don't think you can end the party in one way or another, but does the party really ever end?
Well, we would hope not.
Well, someday we all got to go, right, Chuck? So
I don't know. Willie Nelson is making a pretty strong case for the party's never going to end.
Well, I wanted to talk about a few things tonight, and when I think about the road goes on forever, what I'm thinking about is basically, so you get your start, and I know a lot about your journey, and you get your start, and you're going in this music business, and this is for all the other musicians out there, so they can maybe learn something about how this goes. And you get to a certain level, man, you think I'm getting there. I'm so close. You know what I mean? I'm right there. It's in grasp. I mean, it's in reach. So close. And then it's like, all right, now you need to do this, and this. Yeah. And you still got to do all these other things, right?
Yeah, you can't stop doing the things that you started doing, but now there's more things that you got to do because you found out that you were not basically you were letting somebody else take half of whatever the income source is, or you weren't using every available method of monetizing what it is you're doing. And for those that don't know, radio doesn't pay an artist hardly anything.
No, you got to be lying, man. What about Spotify?
Yeah, streaming doesn't really pay a lot either unless you're making the big numbers. Like when you have 1 million spins, you made like $10,000, $30,000, somewhere in there. It just depends on where you fall on the grand spectrum of it. So you got to find other things to do. Like we just got our own publishing rights, so now Wimer Music is its own publishing. But that's one of those things that is a holdover from the old days of you needed a publisher to push your stuff out so that you could actually be heard in different places. And now that publisher isn't as necessary as they used to be for a singer-songwriter. You can actually control your own publishing and still do all the same things because you have those venues those resources like Spotify, CD Baby, use them as a distributor. And then, of course, you have CD Extraction, and then the other places where you load it up, which I'm not as smart on that stuff. Jamie knows all those things. But yeah, so that it's like one bucket of the income that we were supposed to be drawing this whole time that now I have to go back and try and recoup what I didn't draw, which is just sitting there because I didn't know in the beginning. So it's one more thing that I now have to do that I didn't know before. And that's not a complaint. That's not a complaint. It's just
there's more.
Yeah. It's like an infomercial.
Yeah. And just when you thought it couldn't get any better, Chuck, we're going to throw in a brand new car.
Yeah, we're going to need to start your own publishing company and see if you can figure that out too. So yeah, it's a good experience though.
Well, man, it is so cool to have you back. Let's talk about the publishing company. What could you tell, like maybe just a real quick synopsis, a step-by-step of what you need to do to prepare for that, what that looks like?
Okay, so I'm not 100% knowledgeable on that particular front. What I can tell you, though, is it's easy to register for. We learned about this from a mutual friend of ours, Cynthia Roush. She was the one that told us that, hey, you're leaving money on the table by not doing your own publishing. But you can go through whoever it is, ASCAP, BMI. There's a couple others out there. I know there's a new one that I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head that started up not too long ago. Bernie Nelson turned me on to that one. And whoever it is that is your performing rights organization, if you register as the songwriter and then you also register as the publisher, you can collect your publishing rights, your publishing royalties, as well as your songwriter royalties, which is kind of a big deal when everything boils down to, you're getting 50 cents a month as opposed to, $500 a month.
Yep. That's a huge difference.
Or I just don't know enough of it yet. We got books. We're learning.
Well, hey man, you're taking the steps that you got to take in order to get to that first level, man, where you can start journeying in there. And I love that you're continuing to grow and learn and do those type of things. It speaks volumes on your growth as an artist since we first met, even and years ago. So share a little bit about, because we do go way beyond the music, and of course we're going to play some of your older stuff tonight too, and have a little fun with that. So
Cool.
and tell a little stories about the songs and maybe some good memories that you have about them and things of that nature. But tell us a little bit about that. Now you're out of the infancy. You're almost into college, right? And you're right there, man. And you're getting ready to take your exit exams and your placement tests and everything, right? Or your ASVAB if you're doing the military comparison, right? So what is that like from that launching from that? Man, I've learned so much, man, and I'm ready for this next level. What does that look like and feel like? The best way you could describe it.
Well, I'll tell you, up to this point right now, I'm still trying to figure out when I'm going to hit that point where I don't have the imposter syndrome anymore, where I start feeling like, what am I doing here? Do I even belong? The numbers speak for themselves. People, they come out to shows now. They request the songs on the different radio stations that are playing us. So people are enjoying the music. So that's one of those things that's a constant fight. It was a fight in the beginning. I was never a fan of my own voice. I didn't want to hear myself talking. I didn't want to hear myself singing. And but apparently there were some other folks that did. So now standing on stages and listening to myself whenever I come on the radio, it's a different experience where it's not quite as jarring. But when you get into like nominations and stuff like that, when you're nominated for an award and you're just like, man, how did I get nominated for that? There's so many people who are better. And that's the thing that still goes through my head. And that's always, I started late. So I look at it from, not to downplay myself and not to be down on myself, but to recognize the true arena that I'm standing in. Right. So the arena I chose to stand in is that arena with Randy Rogers, with Kinfo, with J.R. Herrera, with all those folks that they've been doing it for a while and they've been doing a great job and they've got the following and it shows. You go out to I went out and saw J.R. Herrera's single release over at Rebecca Creek, and that place was packed. You were there, you saw it.
Yeah, man,
it was packed. There's no denying.
Yeah, I mean, and let me tell you, man. Think about the JR that both of us met back when I first started working with him, and you first met him, and he was a good guitar player then, rhythmically speaking. But oh my God, dude, he blew my mind when he took that stage, dude. He made me very, very proud that I got to, like you do, that I get to work with guys and help them start their journey and then watch them grow and do those things and using some of the stuff. I still see you and Jamie using some of the same, things that we've talked about and even growing and doing more than we ever talked about. And planting those seeds, man. I'm proud of you, dude.
Well, thank you. We learned a lot from you, and it's every success that we have right now is still a testament to the foundation that you helped build with us. So,
man, I appreciate that. But dude, you guys are workhorses, and you made my job difficult but easy at the same time. Not you, yeah. You, that other Wimer lady.
Oh, I know. I just show up where I'm told.
Yeah. But and we did. Yeah, we that's any team, man. You're never gonna 100% ever agree with your promoter, manager, booking agent, whatever, man.
Yeah.
Even sometimes the dude cutting you the check. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true.
Ever been there?
I've yeah. Well, one of the benefits of being an independent musician who is trying to do things a certain way and has a role model like Chris Ledoux. Like that was how I decided to style how we were going to do this. It's easy to look up and say, okay, well, this guy did it his way, and he didn't. If he felt strongly about something, then that's the way he did it, and that's still the way that we're going to do it. We're going to keep on going that route. So whenever we have a disagreement, obviously we're not going to stomp our feet and kick dirt and act like the umpire did us wrong. We're just gonna, we'll go a direction that makes sense, and we're gonna keep doing whatever it takes to maintain the relationships that we built and to continue to grow. And even if we have a disagreement with somebody, we're still gonna listen to what they had to say, because nobody that we're meeting is brand new in this business that's offering us advice. You know what I mean? It's whenever we're being offered advice, it's from somebody who's been doing this for a little bit. So they've seen a few things. Usually the people that are newer in the business, they actually come up and they ask us questions, and we're like, yeah, I don't know that we're qualified to help you out on that, but here's what we found, and this is who we found it through. And maybe you might want to go talk to those folks, because they're where we got the information. Why get it watered down from us when you can get it directly from the horse's mouth? But I'm happy to say that there's, I think I've only got like 2 relationships that haven't been able to stay strong since the time we started. Obviously our relationship's still real good. We got really good relationships with a lot of the internet stations that we first started off getting spun on, and we again continue to maintain those. There's just a couple of people that, for whatever reason, I guess rubbed them the wrong way, or they rubbed us the wrong way, and we don't say bad things about each other, but we just don't talk, So, and that's, I think, as far as, giving advice to artists out there, other musicians that are trying to come up and do this thing, that'd be the thing that I'd recommend is don't burn a bridge. I got a guy that burned a bridge with us, and it was intentional, and it was like, wow, really? That's the way you want to go? Cool. All right.
Well, and it sucks, man. There's not much you can do about it when someone does it. Other than just kind of let them go do what they need to do, I mean, what else can you really do? Hey, real quick, man, let's take a little time travel, let's do this. Let's go back to your very first song that we got to play around with. Let's do that.
That was a fun song.
on the coastline, just having fun in that Carolina sunshine. Ain't got no worries cause we're out here on vacation. 10 in the back so we don't need reservations. Just getting started on our weekend in the sun. And it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Girl, we still got time to spare. East or west, yeah, I don't care. Come along and feel the wind blow through your hair. I'll take you anywhere. Sundown's coming and we pull off of the highway. Chill in the air and you slide on over my way. Bonfire's going as I'm finishing the campsite. Got a feeling this is gonna be a good night. Camper strolling into joining on the fun. And it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Baby, we already know. Anywhere we wanna go. We don't have to plan, just get out on that road. Girl, we still got time to spare. East or west, yeah, I don't care. Come along and feel the wind blow through your hair. I'll take you anywhere. Break it dawn and it's quiet as a ghost town. Body spread out like the morning after Jonestown. Sneak away, don't wanna wake nobody up. 240's blowing as we take off in my truck. A stop for breakfast and we're back out on the run. And it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So let me ask you a question, man. Going back to Take You Anywhere, your first song ever out the radio, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
First one to studio, first one to radio, yeah.
Okay, that's what I want to talk about is that awesome studio experience. Shout out to Mac Damon, Stone Creek Sound. If you're in the South Texas, Central Texas area looking for a place to record, give Mac a shout, man. He does amazing work, and he's done everything with you just about, right? Or everything, right?
He has done all the stuff we've worked with. He's been a part of that. The only changes that we've had are the musicians on there. So I do want to credit Matt Zavala for the initial stuff. Matt Zavala did all my guitar work all the way through Just Getting Started and The Road Never Ends. And then we started getting some different guitar players and fiddle players. Again, shout out to Brady Black, fantastic fiddle player. Everybody who knows who he plays for, they know that he's just amazing. And but Mac Damon is legit. He got his first Grammy this past year. So kudos to him. He's one of those guys where when you take stuff into him, number one, you better have a good idea of what it is that you want to be bringing to him, which on that song I didn't. I had a different mindset. I was a bonehead when I brought that in. I said, in my head, I was like, well, I've been writing songs for years, so I'm not new at this. I know what I'm doing, et cetera, blah, blah. You know, the stuff that goes through your head when you're first getting started, like I'm the guy. Yeah. And then, so I brought him a song with no chorus. The Take You Anywhere was originally called Countdown, and we still got some folks from church that remember it as Countdown. And that's how they'll always remember it. They were out at the first release party and they were shouting out 5, 4, 3, 2, 1
What'd you
every
do
time.
to our song, Chuck? What'd you do to our song?
I know. And the I got in there and I was like, "Here, Mac, this is what I want to do." And I kind of had like a Beach Boys vibe idea for what I wanted for the chorus, right? Instead of a lyrical chorus, it was just going to be kind of like that ding, 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 just jamming on keys like Kenny Loggins. And he said, "This is your first radio single. This is your first single. This is your first recording. You need a chorus. You can't just throw something out there for your first and not have a chorus. Go in the corner over there. Go sit down and write a chorus." So I had to go write a chorus. It took about 5 minutes to get that chorus um, marginally ready to go. And then, of course, that was the first point that he started co-writing songs with me, which he didn't even ask for co-write on that one. He's like, "All right, we need to do this, and we got the arrangement figured out." Actually, I take that back. He got the arrangement figured out. I wasn't even in the room. I've worked up to that point where I'm now in the room for my own arrangements. Uh, but yeah, the first one, I took in a song with no chorus, and he almost laughed me out of there, but it was COVID, and so he needed the funds. We've been keeping his lights on ever since.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's not an inexpensive thing to get into a studio, number one, and then to go start recording and doing all that, and then putting your songs on radio. I mean, you gotta utilize everything that's out there, man. And I'm going to be doing another different podcast now. This is kind of a fun one. This one will be more for the for Canyon Lake Community Radio, but also for the artists too. I wanted to include the music community in it in a Ask Sebby podcast.
Okay.
So, yeah, like if you got a question about something,
I could see that being real entertaining.
I mean, it could get pretty crazy, dude, because some people are going to ask me about music and other people are going to ask me about my other 60,000 irons in the fire.
Right? Yeah. It's either music or birds or something.
It's always something, man. I mean, what's that saying in the Bible, though, Chuck? The idle hands are the devil's helper. Is that right? Something
Oh, yeah. I like that one, but
or,
I'm
or
more of a
the
fan.
devil's playground.
I'm more of a fan. There's a line, a verse that I like better, which is, "A man that don't work won't eat." And you work. There's no question. You are nonstop. You're doing something, um, almost to the point where it's detrimental sometimes. You can only do so much. You only have so many hours in the day, but eventually that team that you're looking for is going to be there. They're gonna, you're gonna end up. They're gonna gravitate towards you. They want to be on that journey, and everything's gonna pay off. But
That's right. Yeah.
you are definitely a worker. There's no question.
I mean, like I thought I would get off stage from performing and touring, and that I would just, sit behind a computer and help everybody out. And, it's not going to be that bad. No,
How's that been
not
working out
at
for
all.
you?
Just like when you first start doing music and you get a little success, your head goes for a minute until you get checked or someone pops it with a pen, but you go through those motions and you go through these things and it's a lot more work, a lot more drama. That's for damn sure, man. Oh my God. The drama level in the back end. Woo-wee. My God, man.
This is not the business for people who can't deal with drama.
No, man. And you better have some thick skin. And just remember, man, even if it's a wounded little snake in the grass, and you're trying to help nurse it back to health. It's that story. There's a story about that.
I actually just talked to our buddy who was my first mistake in music. In the radio promotion side of music, that you ended up having to put that fire out real quick. I found out that not everybody has the former military mindset where certain jokes just they're just jokes and people recognize them all. I remember offending a radio program director, and then you had to put that fire out. But it was good that we learned with him because he's a forgiving guy, and since then we've got a great relationship with him. But he had to figure out who I was, and then I learned not to make that mistake again. Just assuming that everybody is, duck on the water. It's going to roll off. The water just rolls off your back. Some people are a little bit more sensitive than others, and that's tough for somebody who used to be in the military where everything is kind of, it's either blunt or it's a joke. It's one of the two. There's no room for negotiations. So I figured that obviously I didn't have the authority, so I was just like, well, he's got to take it as a joke because I don't have any authority. He didn't, so we learned real early on.
Man, there's no such thing as perfection, and you're gonna make mistakes. The one thing that I always try to say is, just when you make the mistake, do your best to pick yourself back up and get back on track. That's all you can really do. I mean, beating yourself up. I mean, there's going to be sometimes you're going to screw up, and no matter, even if you really, really mean it, and you really are sorry, you might not be able to fix that, or mend it, man. And you got to be okay with that because everybody's built differently. And and some people can't forgive and they can't forget. And then there's others that they're okay, but if you do it again, they're done, and there's so many dynamics and that's what makes the world a great, wonderful, interesting place. But at the same time, man, where do you think along the journey that you've been thus far, what did you feel was one of those, like, if not the most, I hate always to say the most, that's such like an ass question, most memorable, most important? No, what's one of your favorite memories in the state you're in now, doing this podcast, hanging out, streaming with me here? What is your favorite memory thus far in your journey, or a defining moment? Maybe a light bulb went on, whatever it is that you wouldn't mind sharing with us.
I think my favorite so far, now there's a lot of them. So like to categorize it into the different varieties, like I can give you a favorite from different spots, but I think my favorite overall was we played a show in Harper, Texas at the station on 290. And we saw a bunch of folks that had seen us at a bunch of free shows. Like these aren't people who have only seen us once. These, for the most part, it was people who had seen us 2, 3, 4 times. And they saw us at free shows that, like, they came out to Dog and Pony and they saw us out there where there's no cover. They didn't have to pay anything. They just came in, drank, ate, and had a good time. Or they saw us at Singing Water Vineyards in Comfort, and it was, again, free. They saw us in all 3 varieties, right? They saw the solo acoustic, they saw the duo, or they saw the full band. And then at the station on 290, they came out and they dropped $20 to come watch a show that they could have seen for free because they wanted to support us as artists and as a band. So I think that's probably my favorite experience so far. We outkicked our coverage on that one. We had, a lot of folks showed up for that, it gave us a really good impression for the venue as well. So the venue is just like, man, you had based off of what was available, you had one of the best turnouts because of the timing. Number one, it was cold and, the generator had gone out and they expected pretty much nobody to show up. And then, but then also it was a small room environment. So we ended up having, kind of like JR just had his experience with his release party where it was packed because of the environment. It wasn't an outdoor thing, but the indoor felt like it was packed because of how it was set up. So that was a really cool experience.
I'm like super stoked that you got to experience that, because I think there's a point when we're playing a lot of acoustic shows and maybe our band's just getting started where we kind of feel like maybe we're just not getting that type of love, man, I'm not getting that kind of support. How do I break through and get that kind of support? And the answer is you don't quit, and you keep moving forward, and you have a plan and you work your plan. And, I'm going to be doing a lot of webinars with Kelly Pierce and a bunch of other industry professionals coming up next month. And we're going to try to do 1 or 2 a month, keep it simple to start and let it grow from there. And it'll be through the TIRA. So I'm super excited. And by the way, I'll scroll that down at the bottom real quick. Yeah, go by and join the TIRA. It's absolutely free to join. The membership is free. Same thing with the TIRC, and you can get the chart early every week. If you're a member, that's one of your benefits, and it's absolutely free. It's a cool thing. And in fact, you know me, I have all those irons in the fire and all those projects. And a little truth and confession, since we're going way beyond the music, let's go way beyond Sebby's desk. So confession time. I originally had used a program called Racklet for the TIRA club.
Mm-hmm.
Then I started the tracking with the TIRC spin trap, and I had Join It. And I fell in love with Join It, and Racklet sucked. It was an AppSumo purchase I regret. Well, no, not all of them are bad, man. I got a couple of them that I use, and they're great tools, but they're few and far between. You can find a diamond in the rough, but you better do your research and do your trial, and make sure you have time to maximize the trial before you buy. And then, of course, the ones that limit you in your trial don't let you really test it out. And then they're really expensive. I don't ever go with those, because if they had a great product, they'd let you use it so you know. But anyway, long story short, getting off squirreling. Long story short, man, I am going to move everything over to Join It through the because it's just easier to communicate, and you know this because I have to communicate on multiple platforms.
Yep.
In multiple facets. You as an artist have to do the same, but only in one facet as an artist, right?
Yep.
So
for the most part, yeah.
Well, and I know you got a Jamie. I don't have a Jamie.
No, yeah. We also have the podcast and everything too, so we also have to look at the other angles on that as well. Which is a completely different.
Monster altogether, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's a completely different animal. I can sit here and I can do a live on Facebook, or I can do it on StreamYard, so I can put it out to Facebook and Twitter and Instagram or Twitch or whatever it is I want to do. But when you're trying to do it as a podcast now, it's a totally different way of trying to gather people who want to listen to whatever it is you have to say. So that's the other challenge, but I don't have to plug mine right now because we haven't done the relaunch on it yet. It's got a new name coming and everything. So, but yeah, I know what you're talking about. Trying to find that right medium that you're going to use to push out, to the different various platforms. And then, and you introduced me to the one we're using right now, StreamYard, which we almost ended up canceling because my original co-host on the Whiskey Texas and You podcast ended up going, elsewhere. So, now I'm going to end up having to relaunch with another co-host, and we decided, okay, we're going to keep StreamYard, and then we'll have our sponsors are going to fund that bill. So that's going to be good.
Well, and I mean, you absolutely, man, hit another nail on the head. It's so hard in this business to maintain relationships. Is there a tip? While I'm pulling up, I just got to see this video. And we're going to watch it here in just a second. But is there any tip that you could give to any of the artists out there as far as maintaining relationships and best practices that you use if things go south, best way to handle yourself, those kind of things?
Well, for maintaining relationships, I think the best thing to do is not look at it from your own perspective. Try and figure out what it is that motivates the person that you're talking to. And, the nasty word of the day would be manipulate. But that's what you're going to do. If it's not manipulating yourself, it's manipulating, the scenario so that you're putting a little bit more focus on them and what it is that they need. Because if you want that relationship to continue, then that means that your needs are already being met, at least to the extent where you want to continue the relationship. You need to figure out what it is that you're not bringing to the table for them, because they're feeling some kind of way about it. You're not going to lose a relationship if somebody's not feeling a certain kind of way, that they're like, I'm not getting something from this. Every relationship is transactional. You're going to have somebody's going to need to be emotionally comforted, and somebody's going to need to be giving, and then it's going to flip around. That person who was giving before, they might have a situation where they need an ear to listen to them, and if you're not offering that ear. If you're just constantly being given to and you're just taking and taking and taking, then you're going to find yourself in a spot where people aren't going to answer your phone call because they know that you want something, and as sweet and as charming as you might be, they know right away, okay, this person wants something. I don't know if I have the emotional, fuel tank to be able to offer that today.
Right.
So that's how I would recommend maintaining a relationship, or at least, saving it from the infirmary as it's about to pass away. But the biggest thing that I would say as an artist, when you're getting started on this thing, is be a good hang. Don't make sure that you're somebody that other people want to be around. It's not always about what song you're putting out right now. Trust me, whoever it is you're talking to, if they're in this business and you're trying to get them to play your song or listen to your song or record your song or whatever it is you're trying to get them to do, they know this. They know that you're doing that already. They knew about it before you even got on the podcast or in the room or sat down at the table. They already know about you. So start off being a good hang. Be a person, be a human being, and then after you're a human being, it's a lot easier to talk to people about the things that are interesting to you and the things that you want them to be interested in, i.e., your music, your song, your whatever.
Well, let's do this real quick. I've got a little official music video that I really am fond of, and it's not just because I have a whole 0.3 seconds in it.
Oh, come on!
I know.
You're in that video.
I know. It's just a couple little glances, man, and I could have had more, but
One of the things I love about this video is we had just gotten to this town, and the town is in it. The whole town is in this song.
Yeah.
In this video.
Yeah, it was a really neat day, man. Thank you for letting me be part of that, man. Let's take a watch at Home Run by yours truly right here, Mr. Chuck Wimer.
Kudos to Larry Garcia for putting this video together.
Good morning, all you cowboys and cowgirls. I see you out there in left field. I got a home run coming at you by Chuck Wimer. Strike out. Don't let it stop
Blue jeans and bonfires, red barns and barbed wire. Rolling down that older road was the only life I'd known. Superstition, sunrise, breaking dawn, dancing in her eyes. Times like that I realize everything's gonna be alright. Looking back, I wouldn't change it if I could. I've made a few mistakes, but my life's pretty good. Life throws you a curveball. Gotta sit back on it, take your time, and then just swing away. Sometimes you strike out, don't let it stop you from stepping back up to the plate. Get in the box, take a breath, loosen up, and have a little fun. Find your pitch, let it ride, watch it fly when you hit life's home run. 18, I was wearing green, traded in my old blue jeans. Give me a gun, give me a dog, then they shipped me overseas. All things come to an end, I made some real good friends. Some I see from time to time and some I won't see again. Looking back, I wouldn't change it if I could. I made a few mistakes, but my life's pretty good. Life throws you a curveball. Gotta sit back on it, take your time, and then just swing away. Sometimes you strike out, don't let it stop you from stepping back up to the plate. Get in the box, take a breath, loosen up, and have a little fun. Find your pitch, let it ride, watch it fly when you hit life's home run. I've hit my share of fouls, sometimes I didn't score. Every time I'd swing and miss, it made me want it that much more. Life throws you a curveball, gotta sit back on it, take your time, and then just swing away. Sometimes you strike out, don't let it stop you from stepping back up to the plate. Get in the box, take a breath, loosen up and have a little fun. Find your pitch, let it ride, watch it fly when you hit life's home run. Sometimes it just takes one to hit that home run. When you hit life's home run. When you hit life's home run.
That was a fun song.
Yeah, it was a really good day too, man. I mean, it was a fun day. It was a good day. Yeah, man.
that was a good time. The cover art on that one, that's actually and my brother when he was playing for Dallas Baptist University, and I think it was 2014. And we ended up having to get permission to use that photo for the cover art because whoever took the photo, like he actually hit a home run on that swing. So that was kind of crazy. It was like, yeah, all right, go baby brother.
Can we use it? that would have been my only. Can we use it? Yeah, man. I mean, that was a very inspiring day, and made me realize how important, not just the audio, but the video is to have with these releases, man. To have that stimulation, especially in the times that we're in. And we're going to run out of times, but so before we do, the song that I think really surprised you the most out of all of them, and then your current single, that it's hard to actually. You know what? Let's get your current single. Let's talk about
Okay.
Fire in Your Eyes first, because I don't want to cut it too close. So
Okay.
I want to give you enough time. So let's talk about Fire in Your Eyes, and when we have you back again, or on a different podcast, we will cover some more Chuck Wimer music and history.
Absolutely. So what do you want to know?
Just the inspiration behind why you wrote the song. I didn't ever think you were going to release it, man. So thank you, Dave Smith, for telling him what he needed to do.
Okay, so Fire in Your Eyes was never supposed to be recorded, let alone written. It was I was actually working on another song at the time. It was a co-write. I was helping my dad out with the song, and he was the one who did Dancing in the Rain. And he was like, "Hey, take a look at this one, see what you can do with it, see if it's got any legs, if it's even worth working on, or if we need to basically strip it down and just take the good out of it and then put that into different songs." And I was working on that other song, and for whatever reason, I just hit a block, and I thought, "Well, shoot, let me just go write something else, and then I'll come back to it." And I wrote Fire in Your Eyes, and I kind of liked it, and I was like, okay, well, what if this is more like a southern rock kind of song, right? So that's how I was playing it out at the live shows. And a mutual friend of ours, Alex Young, who was basically booking us down in Fredericksburg,
Hi, Alex.
she said, "Hey man, I really want you to record that song." And I told her, I said, "Hey, I really want you to pay for it because it's expensive." And she ran a Kickstarter and funded half the album. So we were like, well, I guess we're obligated at this point. We got to put that song on the album. So I took it into Mac and I said, "Hey, this is a song that has to be on the album because the person who is basically paying your bill, she wants this song. This is the whole reason why she's paying for it." And he said, okay. And then he took it off to the side. And this is another one I didn't really have a whole lot to do with the arrangement. I came in with, the basic chord progression, and I came in with a Southern rock kind of growly vocal, and he kind of threw that out the window, kept the chord progression. I think he bumped it up 2 keys, and then came back out, and it's got more of a Latin feel to it now. And it was like, wow, what did you do? And so then we started playing that more at the live shows, using it as the intro for the band. So my drummer now, mutual friend of yours, Mr. Scott Rosen, God
Man,
bless him.
and one hell of a drummer. Yeah, man. He was in a project with me called Lost in Texas with Jeff Fay and Mike Poss on bass. We had a great old time, man. Scotty is a phenomenal drummer. Congratulations. What a score.
Yes. He's amazing. He kind of holds my feet to the fire a lot of the times. He's like, "Hey, we need to do this and this to make this better." So it's like, "All right, I can't argue because you're right." So
he's a great human being and a great bandmate too. And you guys have a lot in common with the dog stuff too, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's actually where we met originally. So when it came available that he was able to join us, then that it was that was God sent. God put him in a place to where we were able to line up, because my other drummer had just retired at the time. But now, not to get too far off track, we use that as the band intro. So basically, he's killing the drums, right? And during that time, I have everybody do their solos, right? We got Louis Espino on lead guitar, we got Randy Garcia on bass, and then Scott Rosen back here on the drums, and then he just goes into this wild solo, which I basically had to force him to do almost. And I think it's just because he's so humble that he doesn't want to show off the talent that he has. Dude, my guys are ridiculous. I'm so proud of all of them because people keep trying to steal them from me.
Yeah, that's when you know you got a good band, dude.
That's when you know you got the right guys.
You better pay them.
I actually just put that into our. We use WhatsApp for we call it Bandcamp, so we use WhatsApp for all the band conversation. And I just put it in there the other day. I was like, man, I'm so glad Randy's got a day job that's really demanding. Otherwise, I'd have to wonder every day if I had a band when I came back into work. When we're like, did you guys get poached? But anyway, so Scott does his intro, and so you now have 3 different versions of Fire in Your Eyes. You have the solo acoustic version, because obviously I can't create the drum beat that is necessary to really provide that Latin feel to it. And then you have the radio version, which is, we love it. We think it's pretty amazing, especially with what Mac did with it. He just took it and he just gave it a completely different life. And then we have the band version where it's just I got Scott running on the toms like he doesn't need them anymore. This is the last time they're ever going to be played. And it's 3 different experiences with the same song, and people love all 3 from the feedback we've been getting. And Jamie and I were both like, man, really, Dave, this is the one you want to go? I just put out an entire 12-song album, but you want to go with this song that was on the previous album? All right, well, shoot, you've been doing it for 40 or 50 years, however long you've been doing it. Chances are you probably know what you're talking about. So we kind of took a back seat on that one, let him do it. And we ended up, we're at like right around 50, 5 weeks in. So I think on T3R, we're above 50, we're below 50. So we're in the 40s. And then on the the Texas country music chart, we're at 50. And then I think on TIRC, on the Texas Internet Radio chart, I think we were at 5. So we've got some pretty good progress going with that song, and we're excited to see where it goes. I mean, it's a 24-week campaign, so we're trying to figure out like.
I'm spinning the crap out of it because.
I know, right? We're like, what's the ceiling for this song?
Dave and I definitely see the eye to eye on that one.
Should we have put this out earlier? I mean, but
no, everything happens for a reason. I'm a firm believer, and I think God held that back for the right time for everybody.
Yeah, the timing is always a big factor especially for any artist listening. The timing is a factor. So maybe you don't want to come out with your best song first because nobody knows who you are yet, and then after they find a few people find out who you are, then when you release it, you know, they pick it up on their radio stations, and then a couple other stations are like, all right, well, let's go see what the hubbub is about this song. And then you get picked up by more stations. So, you know, the timing, I think, is perfect for that song right now.
And speaking of perfect timing, I got to do this, man. We're going to squeeze it in. We're going to cut it real close, but we're going to squeeze this in. This was the song that was the biggest, I think, surprise for Chuck. And I don't want to speak for him, but when you talk about timing is everything. And
wow.
you could not have timed this one any better than you did when you released Over Here. That I was just amazed, man, you know, because I think the fear was the military aspect of it, you know, and as an artist, dude, anytime you get political or even open up like this, it's kind of scary, especially in the time that we did this, you know.
Yeah. Well, we went backwards too, right? So we did the upbeat song in the early months, the January, February, March, and then when everybody's putting out the bangers, we put out Over Here. So it was.
Hey man, sometimes it's strategy, bro, because they're tired of hearing all the upbeat stuff, and they just want a song they can actually feel, and they don't feel like that they're on a pontoon boat getting drunk or in the back of a truck sliding around in the mud. Chasing after Betty Joe, Jingle Crotch or whatever, you know.
Creekle Rise.
Creekle Ass, yeah, that girl. But man, let's. I like this video too, to be honest with you. Let's take a look at the song.
Said goodbye. We get on our plane, we seen you cry. Don't know if we'll be back again. Say it's hard. This place they've got us going, but we take comfort knowing you're on our side. We do our job, sometimes with heart, sometimes with guns, sometimes it's hard. Oh, but we still have our fun when times are dark. There's still a job that needs doing, so we push right on through until it's done. But they don't talk like we talk, they need the things we do. We move through their crowds and they're unaware. We've got wars on both sides, and we keep to ourselves. Staying quiet don't mean that we don't care. Feels like we're not wanted over here. When we get home, reunited with our family, we're still alone. 'Cause we can't share what we've been through, we hold it in. They say that we have a disorder, 'cause the media reporter can't explain. But they don't talk like we talk, need the things we do. We move through their crowds and they're unaware. We've got wars on both sides, and we keep to ourselves. Staying quiet don't mean that we don't care. Feels like we're not wanted over here. And the politicians say we'll never win, but I was proud to serve my country and I'll do it all again. People talk like I talk, need the things I do. I move through their crowds and I'm aware. I've got wars on both sides that I keep to myself. I know I don't say much, but I still care. Even if I'm still not wanted over here. Even if I'm still not wanted over here. Oh, I wish that I was wanted over here.
Mr. Chuck Wimer, y'all. Yeah, make some noise at home, man. Get wild, get crazy.
Yeah, that's a special guest there. Lytle Post 12041, or yeah, I think it's 12041. That's our VFW out here. They were the ones that did the appearance at the end. But all those photos were actually people we put out and said, hey, we're looking for photos of folks in the military from people that we know to put into a music video. So we know all those folks that were in there.
It makes it even more special, man, and a memento for you to keep for a lifetime, a story that you'll always get to tell, whether it's on one of my podcasts or one of the many that you do, or one of the many that you're going to be a part of as you grow in your career. And man, dude, I cannot thank you enough for coming up and ripping up and opening up season 2. And deja vu, Chuck Weimer's back on the very first episode again. Might make it a tradition, man. Just
I like it.
Yeah, man. And please be sure to, in Uncle Mark voice, send the love to the family and to the kiddos.
Will do.
In your best Uncle Mark voice. And Jamie, for watching, thank you for everything. Love you, long time. Yeah, and we will see you guys very soon. And hey, we'll be back next Wednesday with a new guest on Way Beyond the Music. Chuck, before you get out of here, any special message you'd like to give to the folks that are out there?
Yeah, just if you're gonna do this thing, then do it 100%. Don't shortchange anything. Don't look for shortcuts. There are none. It's all about building relationships. And if you're gonna be in the music business, that's one of the things you're gonna have to do. But Mark, thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. I love being on these shows and being able to talk to folks and share what little information I have that I feel like I've gained so much over the course of the time that I've known you. And I'll ramble.
You guys taught the teacher a few lessons too now. Let's not forget about that. And we should visit that on our next podcast.
I love it.
I'm on your show or you're on mine.
Sounds great.
We should visit. Well, what did you learn from us, Sebby? Or maybe you could call me up on an Ask Sebby podcast.
Are you doing those again?
No, I'm going to start them. That's a brand new one. Yeah,
nice.
It's going to be fun.
Because I remember we had Sebby After Dark. That was
Mark After Dark. Yeah,
Mark After Dark. Yes.
That's going to come back. See, 2 little known secrets before we get out of here, and then we're really going to leave. Promise. I got the rescue bird laughing at me in the background because she knows I'm a squirrel. Yeah, there's a new bird. Her name is Delilah. She is a 15-year-old Quaker parrot female.
Wow.
And I was told she doesn't like men. The very first day I had her, I was petting her and beating her out of my hand. And she's a good friend.
What does that say? No, it probably says that you're good with birds, and whoever didn't think that she liked men just had her around the wrong men.
Well, no, I mean, it's just that I think that animals can sense things, and you working with dogs, you know what I'm talking about. And, and they know if you know them as a species. I believe that wholeheartedly. Oh, yeah. So much more perception than we do. But 2 real quick secrets. Number 1, you guys have asked for it, and it's coming. SMG Booking Services, and I don't have to do it. That's the best part. Is fixing to open up. Dear friend of mine, Miss Portia Morgan from Fort Worth, will be joining SMG, and she will be doing a booking service for us. And nice. I'm super excited about that opportunity, just on a different level, man. I mean, like non-exclusive stuff. You know how we roll. Don't want to tie anybody up. There's a lot better agencies out there, but for those that are seeking some initial help and trying to break into some rooms and get groomed and go through a boot camp or something, you know, then we've got an opportunity for them too. That's the first surprise. And then, you know, surprise too. I regained marksebby.com that was lost. And I got real lucky one night. It dropped down from like the $3,000 I wanted for it to like $69, and I fucking grabbed it. And it was so ironic. It was right after I launched RSX distro with the $69 distribution, which is still going on. That's still a valid deal to get your song out to over 4,000 different stations nationwide, not just in Texas. But
very nice.
So that's just going to be my personal page, Chuck, where all stuff like this, my podcast, my projects, my little fun stuff, that'll just be all about me and all my irons in the fire. I should have called it Irons in the Fire. But anyway, y'all don't forget to call and request your favorite new song by Chuck Wimer on your local and internet radio stations. And put the fire in your eyes and put that thing on repeat on your Spotify, man, and help drive those numbers up. Chuck, love you, brother. We will catch you on the next episode. We will see you guys later, and we are